reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast, then like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today, that is, Mayegun is live. So tonight, we are starting our conversation, or should I say the unpacking, with the latest from the stable of the spineless, seamless Fubara and his estranged godfather, and that is Wike. The last time that Fubara appeared in public in a long time, he came out to sort of like throw his own supporters under the bus. He told them to their faces that they should have forgiving spirits, and he did not send them on those protests across the states, because according to him, those protests, they were hurting him more and hurting his supposed reconciliation move behind the scene. All right. And he told them to stop, as if that is not enough. Right. So today, he has also come out to say, listen, guys, in fact, the state of emergency in Rivers State was necessary. I know some of you, you are going to automatically kind of like conclude that, it seems to have accepted his fate, that he cannot fight, with a Wike, and he's making amends early enough. And if people are going to call him names, in fact, I have people who have sort of like applauded him, saying, good enough that he's no longer listening to those who are telling him to fight on. Kind of shit you get, like, whether he's trying to say want to do something right or whatever, it doesn't matter. Since the position was given to him by the establishment, right? That's his boss with a Wike. The right thing or the honorable thing for him to do, if indeed he wants to be a righteous person, would have been to resign and leave the position entirely, right? But a lot of people were like Fubara's fans are beginning to retrace their steps. Many of them are disappointed, while others feels like sometimes when you are beaten by the rain, it could be an opportunity for you to pee on yourself. It's a university. I don't know if that's the right analogy for it. So you get, like, let's say you are in the rain, you're already soaking, right? That's a moment, right? You can possibly like pee yourself and it won't really make any difference. But others would be like, yuck. But whatever it is, right? Like I've always been saying, if anybody invests in the characters, right, that are in their political space, in that contraption, there is only one guaranteed return, and that will be disappointment, heartbreak. So people like us see them, identify them for the roles they are playing, because everybody is playing his own role in what is going to be, the road to the Golgotha that they are taking Nigeria to. But to those of you who kind of have those you admire among them, I sympathize with you. So let's go to Rivers State. We have Fubara, right? Kind of give all of you middle finger, I think including me too, like middle finger. Tinubu did the right thing. In fact, Tinubu saved Rivers State and all that. Same Fubara.
But in all, like I said, we have every reason to thank God Almighty, thank Mr. President, secondly, and there's no reason why there will be peace between me and my other. We will make the peace so that Rivers will move forward. let me conclude by, although I will say maybe take one or two question or answer or whatever, but let me say this. I want to plead with everyone. It's a plea. They say I'm not a politician. I don't know what is the entry requirement for one to be a politician. But I know that what is most important in this life is respect that I earn. It is not respect that is being forced. I want to earn your respect. Being by not bossing you, by serving you, by you feeling free when I make mistake to tell me. But even when I get angry, you also not get angry with me, knowing that I'm also a human being. Because at the end, I can't do it alone. I need the support of everyone. We need the support of each other for us to complete. I want to thank you again.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Seamless Fubara. Now, let us break it down, because as some of you are calling him a fool, idiot, shameless, there are others watching this video that will disagree with you. Ask me why. We have two categories of Nigerians. They are all lying to themselves about Nigeria. So we call them Nigerians. But there are two types. You possibly can tell yourself which of them you belong to. And I'll tell you the other one too, right? So the two categories of Nigerians that are, the first one, those ones who knows that Nigeria is a lie, right? But rather than challenge the lie, they decided to profit from it by telling the second group or the second category, right, who have no idea that Nigeria is a lie. Do you understand? But somehow telling them that Nigeria is real itself is a lie, which means they bought a lie. So, and they want to defend the lie, protect it, give any form of excuses and all of that. They don't care. They will defend it because they can be that gullible. But the other, or the first group, or the first category, they are not gullible. They are not stupid. Here you get. So they are going to profit from it, right? So this third set of group are those of us who have discovered and understood the entire concept of this contraption. And it's been like war trying to explain it to an average Nigerian and Nigerian. Do you get that now? So you see those ones who believe that he has done the right thing. So them, Nigerians, they know they fight for Nigerians. The same Nigerians where they say, go on, son, we no go agree, we no go agree. They will be the same ones that will say, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. And that is why the idea of fighting for Nigerians is like suicidal for those who are smart enough. Because as you are fighting the liars who are profiting from the lies, you're also going to be fighting the gullible ones, right? Who are ready to bleed and die for the lies. So it becomes like those ones you think you want to save in your mind, right? They are even more dangerous than the ones you are trying to save them from. Irony, yeah? So Fubara publicly said his mind is no longer in that job, right? So all of you are protesting. Are you even sure that I want to go back there? Right? And he said that without flinching, without anything. There's no backlash and all that. But in my own book, is a pure coward. And I have known this from the beginning of their fight. Because I remember when the whole thing broke out a year and a half ago, I said, when Wike took over from Rotif Amechi, and he wanted to show to the Rivers people of how Amechi used Rivers State money to fund APC and the formation of APC. What did he do? He set up a committee of inquiry who issued a white paper that explained how much Rotif Amechi stole from Rivers State, over 800 billion naira. Probably the value of that today should be like about maybe 4 or 5 trillion naira. You know, it was Bokwari that buried that white paper. Because immediately, I mean, it was so instrumental to his emergence. He was made a minister. And whatever evidence that Wike was publishing them, they were not of any use. Amici was protected. As the same scenario is playing out now, Fubara came out, or the Fubara's supporters came out and told us that the reason why Wike is mad was because Fubara disagreed to give Wike 30% of the River State revenue. Remember, that's the foundation. And automatically, a lot of people felt like, yes, you know what I mean? She would not see where we no call Wike. There's actually no evidence of that. Don't get me wrong, because I can see how this dilly-dallying of this guy, that's why I call him a coward. Okay? And people should have known before now as well, right? That he didn't have it in him. They said when Wike told his supporters or his own inner followers that he's still wondering where this guy got all of this from. So there's nothing to give to us. Everybody knew that Wike kind of looted over 1.4 trillion naira from River State, because at the time, Fubara, was declared wanted by the EFCC. That the last 1 year of Wike's in government, Fubara had to be living in government house. It was the same way Wike who had to go and purchase his governorship form. On the day that he was to go and submit the form, which he had to submit physically, for those of you who remember, this Wike, right, used the same immunity coverage, his own security and all that, went to the PDP secretariat, submitted it, and immediately Fubara returned back to government house. And why was that? Because EFCC said they traced over 420 billion naira River State money moved by this Fubara for Wike, but they can't grab Wike, so they decided to grab his accountant general. So now that you yourself have, you have immunity, you would expect somebody like that to, at least, if he's being sincere and honest. That's why I'm not really surprised, okay, that most of the women who staged a walkout protest, right, against rats, your vexed lady, right? Those women who have been protesting in River State, even the youth protesting, including those his own APC supporters who usually sing and all, we enjoyed all of their dramas back then, remember? So he just came out and he just threw the rest of them, all of them, by the way, all of them under the bus. Because the condition right now is, if Wike accepts his apologies, his entreaties and all that, he is no longer going to contest any second term. He should forget that one, like totally. And then he will need to go and join APC. So now, Fubara will need to go and tell his own supporters in the coming days why they must all support Tinubu for second term. And in fact, you may begin to see rallies, Fubara supporters rallying for Tinubu 2027. These are part of the conditions. I hope those who are probably following him, they are aware of that. It is part of the entire mess. So where the Wike wins at the end of the day, that's the point. Is that his way? His guys are back in government. His own, personally picked, retired military guy is the sole administrator of the state today. The state budget for 2025 has passed the first, probably second reading as well at the National Assembly. It's expected to be passed, right? Whereby the guy in River State, the sole administrator, can lay his hand on the 1.5 trillion naira budget for Rivers. So in all of this, I empathize with the Fubara. If you want to fire me, make I die. I will never follow you to go see Wike or something. I will never follow you to see Wike. Some of those songs, they have not really been forthcoming anymore because, the state of emergency sort of like dislodged every other plan. So today, the man that many of us sympathized with back then, because of the abuse of power constitution by this Tinubu, is back and he is going to fly Tinubu's flag for 2027. Just to prepare your mind, right? Now, leaving that aside, going on, there is this what do you call it? There's this exchanges that happened between Omoyele Sowore and Adamu Oshiomhole. What was that? They met at a book launch. All right. So at that time, they were talking about the activists, people who stood and fought, the military, brought democracy. They made a mistake, and rather than them to have, formed government or joined politics, so that they would have shaped the way they wanted the country, or the way they wished the country to have, be. But unfortunately, they let the whole place kind of like, for the jackals. That was what Sowore said. Then he went on to talk about the corruption, the compromise of INEC, citing the last charade, the 2023 charade, right? That, the election has been like so rigged as it went the way it went. So these exchanges, I can't really quote them verbatim, okay? But don't worry. I'll probably start with Sowore, right? Then end it with Oshiomhole, his response. So first.
You, happy birthday as well. She's 70 and he's 72. And another hall a few weeks ago. This is the hall of the people who brought democracy to Nigeria with fewer people in attendance. There was a hall 2 weeks ago of people who destroyed democracy, but with more people in attendance. The interesting thing was that both halls hosted writers. One, a writer who wrote his own book, and another one, the one who didn't write his own book, Babangida. That was but what it tells you is that there's still a lot of work to be done. If the people who wish Nigeria well and good are fewer than the people who don't wish Nigeria well. That's the way I see it here. The second thing I want to say is that there was a mistake we must admit to that we made when democracy came about in 1999. In all fairness, we should have allowed charlatans to hijack the democratic process. We did, and we are guilty of where we are today. In the US, they refer to democracy as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And Abdul's book title refers to democracy as demonstration of grace. But I have often referred to Nigeria's democracy as morontocracy, a democracy that was hijacked by morons. And that is the result you can get The reason is that why the rest of you are no longer getting arrested, detained, or your passport seized as back over. I still get arrested as of a few weeks ago. I have my passport seized by the government in power. That's Oshiomholi's government, Comrade Oshiomholi's government. They are still persecuting us because we did not put in place the kind of democracy that would have guaranteed our own fundamental rights and well-being.